before I continue playing around with this system, I wanted to get the storage sort of sorted. If I'm going to be installing Windows and things while asking around with parts and things, then I wanted to make sure I've got an SSD to make it all considerably quicker. So the first thing I'm going to do is get this ordered from Amazon. Just a cheap 60 gig SSD will be fine. Now when this becomes my main system, I do already have plenty of SSD drives, so this is just something to play around with while I'm testing. So that's why I don't see the point in getting anything bigger at this stage. And it would be nice to have a spare should something go wrong. So 60 gig for the OS will be perfectly fine. Yeah, let's get this ordered and crack on. The SSD drive has now landed. Nothing particularly major, just a 60 gigabyte one from Amazon, which was £17, which I thought was very good. For what I'm doing here, will make an excellent boot drive, make things a bit quicker. So I'm just going to take out this dead SSD, which hasn't actually been used up until this point. I only popped it in to double check it was in fact dead, which it is. And as a side note, don't buy OCZ drives, basically. Just don't. 256 gig dead, but there we are. I'm going to get that popped in. We've got our GeForce card in there as well. It's a bit of a downgrade from the other one in raw spec, but this one actually works, so it'll be perfectly fine for this. Other than that, I think the one final thing we would replace if we are making this my main machine would be the RAM, but I've got 16 gigabytes in my main machine ready to go, so I suppose for the sake of seeing what this processor can do, it's going to be perfect. So yeah, let's crack on.
A few moments later.
The SSD is now in, but I think before I continue, I was going to maybe wait a bit further down the line, but I think I will get rid of this cooler, which I don't like, and if we're going to try and overclock this thing, we need something a little bit beefier, and I'll pop in my replacement, which, if you haven't seen the previous video, was a little bargain I managed to pick up on eBay. This. So certainly not one of the more high-end ones, but it's going to be an upgrade and hopefully should be enough to, with a little bit of luck, handle a bit of overclocking on this too. Yeah, let's crack on and see how it goes. The new fan is now fitted, as you can see. Certainly a lot beefier. I like it. I think it looks quite good. But I suppose it doesn't really matter what it looks like as long as it works. Yeah, we've got the USB stick with Windows 10 in, the new SSD, so let's go ahead and get Windows 10 installed and really try and see what we can do with this thing. Just a small update, folks. This is the GTX 280 that was in the machine. It turns out it is in fact faulty. The fan doesn't actually seem to work, so the thing gets unbelievably hot within a few moments. I've recorded a little clip just after taking it out, and I've been to CEX this morning and picked up this, which is just a 710 GT 710. Spent £25, which I didn't really want to buy one, but I've got no other graphics cards that actually work in the place, so I need something. So I'm going to go ahead and pop this into the machine, and I can at least then start to see what Cinebench, etc. runs like, just with the processor in its default state. Before I start overclocking, I think I might need to change the memory as well, because I've just got loads of random sticks of DDR3. But yeah, let's get this in and see where we go. Okay, so I'm being a bit impatient here, but I've just installed the 710 graphics card. I've got Snappy Driver installing the drivers for it now. And I'm being a little bit impatient. I did want to do a quick Cinebench test. Let me just put this on the desktop, because I'm really curious to see what this thing can do, especially compared to my i5, just as a default, in its default state. So I've currently got it all at standard speeds. Crack this open to show you. Let me just zoom in a bit here. Sorry, that's a bit rough to focus, but I think you can make that out. I'm going to just run Cinebench in a second and just see what it comes up with. I think my score currently with the i5 running at 4.5 gigahertz is around about 550-ish. I'll have to check. There is a video on my channel if you wanted to check that out. Okay, great, that's all done, so let's open it up. Yeah. Give it a whirl. Okay, that visibly seems quicker already. I'm not sure if the graphics driver will make much of a difference here, but I will run it again actually once it's installed. Just while I wait for that, I will mention I've been doing a bit of research on this board as well, because I'm really not totally familiar with overclocking, although I do mention my i5 system. That's just because there's so many tutorials about it. It was so easy. I've actually found some guides from Intel about this board which show you how to get 4 GHz plus on just standard i7 processors, so I think it might be, wow, okay, that's pretty interesting. That's 700 just off the bat before I've done anything. Wow, okay, that's really cool. I wasn't expecting anything like that. I don't really know what I was expecting, to be honest with you. I think I thought I might need to give it a little bit of a tickle before we get anything out of it, but yeah, 700 right off the bat seems pretty good to me. Just had a quick play around with overclocking it, which I'll check now and see if it's worked. Should be somewhere around about 4 gigahertz. I should point out I'm still running on just the random DDR3 RAM I've put in there. Let's have a look. .75 gigahertz it looks like. Which is fine by me. I don't want to push anything so far. Let's have a look, see what this does. Looking at that fan kicking in now, which is good, at least we know it does something. Okay, 759, not bad, not bad, not bad. Going in the right direction at least. I don't particularly consider myself knowledgeable in overclocking, so I'm going to go and keep tweaking and checking what I'm doing. But yeah, let's see where this goes from here. Hopefully we can get it towards maybe 900.
Several days later.
Here comes a new challenger!
Hey guys, so we've got a bit of an update going on. There's the machine as we left it, with the board and whatnot in there. We've got a few new bits to play with. I've kind of committed to this whole thing now. I've picked up a case, which was a bit of a deal. I've got a new power supply, quite a decent 750 watt beast. Obviously some fans, and more interestingly we have this which has arrived today, which is essentially a whole new machine again with an X58 board, but this time it's an Asus one, which is apparently a little bit better than the one that I've already got. And it was such a deal, I couldn't say no. This thing's complete, ready to go with hard drive and RAM, etc, etc. So yeah, let's crack it open and take a look. Okay, we're in, the packaging's off. Packaged very poorly, I will say, and I can clearly hear there's something rattling around in there, so fingers crossed it's not completely destroyed. Let's have a look. Right, okay, so for some reason the hard drive is completely loose. Hard drive, the graphics card, sorry. Okay, well, with a little bit of luck it's not damaged. This should be fine for just testing purposes, so I'll keep hold of this. It's just a Quadro card. Look at the model. Can't really make out a particular model number on here. Oh, an FX5 500, I think. But whatever, that doesn't really make any difference. Yeah, let me grab the camera and we'll take a quicker look inside. Okay, so what are we dealing with here? We've got an Asus board, as we can see. P6X58D. We've got some nice fluff as well, which is always good. It came with 8 gig of RAM, which is fine. I've actually got a triple channel kit on its way as well, which I managed to get for, again, a bargain price. And the actual chip that's already on it is the i7-950, which, well, yeah, that's going to be going, so there's no worries about that. Yeah, overall, I think I'm very happy with it. The case is absolutely trashed, but that's fine. We've got the replacement ready to go. Yeah, I suppose let's just try it, turn it on and make sure it actually works, since if that thing's been rattling around. Why can't these people package things? Right, here we've got this thing plugged in. Let's turn it on to see if it does anything. Ugh. Phew. Hey. Let's hit delete. Take a look. Seems to be hanging quite a lot. Okay, cool. So look, don't really know, not really much here to look at. Obviously it's got the hard drive in. 8 gig of RAM. Curiously, not making use of the triple channel either. This is the bit I was kind of interested in. Kind of ties in more to the Tech Yes City guides, I should say. But yeah, that looks fine to me. It's all working, so that's good enough. I think now I will do my usual check and see if there's any BIOS updates ready to go and get this thing bang up to date. What are we dealing with so far? Okay, that's pretty old. Let's hopefully see if there's something newer, which will increase the chances of the Xeon working. Let's take a look. Hello again, right, update. I've basically stripped the parts out of the cases for the two machines I've ended up with, partly to save space and partly to make things a bit easier. Now I'm going to check out if the Xeon actually works in the Asus board, so I'm going to take that off. I've also got some extra goodies. As you may be aware, I've got the case, etc., as well as a all-in-one water cooler, and some RAM and so on and so forth. So yeah, I don't know how this is going to pan out yet, but basically whichever system wins, including my main one, that might still end up being the best one for me. That's going to end up living in here, which is a nice little case with all RGB and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm going to finish up this part, I think, by making sure the actual processor I want to use works in that, and we'll go from there. Okay, so we've got this all wired up. Xeon is in, the new memory is on, graphics card all done, so let's fire it up and see what happens. Turn that on. Oh, I should plug in a keyboard just in case. Sorry about the shaky cam, I am doing this bit by hand. Whoop. Okay, good. Let's see. Okay, it fires up. Wonderful. Let's hit delete. Fantastic. There you go, we can see that all kicking in. Okay, great. I think that's where I'm going to leave this particular part because it's kind of dragging on. I've done a lot of changes, but next up I will begin to test and compare it to the Intel board and just see which one handles things better and well, what's going to be best for me. Yeah, so on though, it seems to be working pretty well.